How many afterlives do you think we've come up with? Thousands, possibly tens of thousands, of different religious beliefs and different afterlives to go with them. Which one is right? Are they all wrong? We're not really sure, but I'm bringing up this point for one main reason: to help you realize that we really don't know how long life is. Once we live this one life on earth, it's over. We can't prove if there's reincarnation or a hell or heaven or nothing. So if you're only going to live this one life, why not make the most of it? Here's another point. Your life is, for the most part, only going to last about 75 years. That's the average lifespan, right? The first 15 years of your life, let's just say, is spent learning how to live, growing up. You're not really living independently. So we're going to take away 15 from your life, and then you sleep about a third of your life. And then you work for, on average, about 40 hours a week. If you were to do all the math, you would come to the fact that you only live about 35 years. Actual conscious living for yourself. Only 35 years. So how long is life? How much time do you have left? I am trying to build up into the point that this is the reason why it's so important that we are careful about what influences our life. Bad information equals bad actions, which equals ultimately a waste of time. Life. In order to make the most out of your life, you need to make better decisions. How are you going to make better decisions without better information? Let's take this for an example. You go to the car dealership. Would you agree to buy a car if you don't know the price or the interest rate? Absolutely not. That's what the salesman would want, but either way, that's not the point we're trying to make. If you were to do that, you would really hurt yourself in the long run. And then let's compare it to what we're talking about here, which is far more important than a car, which is your life. If you try to live life without better information, without relevant or good information, do you think you're going to be able to be happy in life? Do you think you're going to be able to make the best decisions in your life? What are the better decisions? Personally, in my opinion, I think it is any decision that helps you to help others. But you cannot help others until you've helped yourself first. I'm not going to get political, but Ben Carson, in one of the debates during the 2015 and 16 campaigns, he used the example of being on a plane. When the oxygen masks come down, it instructs you to put yours on before you help others. And that is almost exactly identical to what I'm saying right now. In order to fully live life to the happiest as you can live, you got to help yourself first, and then you can help your neighbor. So how do you help yourself? Well, I said step 1 in the last video, which is to think for yourself. But here is part of that. Realize what is influencing you. Do you take more advice from a song than you do from your friends? Do you take more advice from your teacher more than your parents? You see where I'm going with this? There are many different sources, and you're picking and choosing which ones you favor the most, and those are the ones that are helping you in life, and maybe not even helping you, but forcing you to make certain decisions in life. Look how many movies, and we're going to get into this right now, so I'm kind of jumping the gun, but look how many movies are out there about love. What do they ultimately teach you? What are all the love movies about? Being happy only when you have a partner. Is that true? Do you think you can be happy without one? I don't know. Look, even me, embarrassingly enough, this is how I grew up thinking. I thought to myself, that person they don't have anyone. How sad. But then I took a step back and said, wait, why do I think that? What if that person simply made a decision to be alone? Some people are genuinely happy by being without a partner. So, again, why do I think that? Why do we think that as a culture? We see someone in their 40s, 50s, and 60s and they've never been married and we think, oh, well, how sad. But why though? Is it really sad? Or is that just what the movies and the songs teach us? It's called indoctrination, people. Look it up. Slowly but surely, you watch enough of those movies, you listen to enough of those songs, and they're going to start rubbing off on you, and they're going to start changing your views on things. The Little Love example is just one small part of all of that. So, I just mentioned a couple of them, but here is a little list of a few different sources of information. The first one is experience. That is your own life. That's how you live. So if you put your hand in the fire and it burns, what's the information? Fire burns. What's your decision? Never put my hand in the fire again. You see that? That's what I'm talking about. The second one is influence. The way you have conversations with your family and friends, the word of mouth, different things you do and say in front of people, that helps you develop a certain outlook on life, that helps you develop a view on certain things. When you talk about politics or stuff like that, having a discussion, even this one, even on here on social media, as I'm speaking to you and as you reply to me, these are the ways that you also can learn. These are sources of information. Here's another one, and this is a very big one: education. Some of this is connected to the government because they're the ones who set the curriculum, and they're the ones who have certain programs to study science and stuff like NASA, and there's a bunch of other ones. But they ultimately influence what we believe. For instance, if you look at how many times we've changed the age of this universe, it's changed from, I remember as a kid, it used to be in the millions of years. And like today, I don't even know what it is. I think like 6 billion or 12 billion. Recently, I just read an article that said that the scientists are 2 billion years off. I mean, who really knows, to be honest? But anyway, the fourth one is entertainment. Entertainment is probably the second biggest one. The third biggest being education. The second biggest one is entertainment. And we already talked about that, so I don't want to get too much into that. Maybe I'll do a whole video dedicated to that. But I would say the biggest influence on planet Earth is religion throughout all of time, since as far back as we can look. Until this day, religion has influenced so many people that even if you're not religious, it still influences and affects you. If you want proof, look no further than India. The leaders believe religiously that cows are ancestors. So you cannot mistreat cows. I'm serious. If you go over there in a car and you're driving on the street, if a cow walks across the street and it stops right in front of you, the car, you got to stop. And you can't really do anything until that cow moves. You can't force it out of the way. You can't do anything. That's proof right there that religion influences many, many masses. So if religion influences government and government influences education, and education influences you, then let me ask you, how is religion affecting you, even if you're not religious?